Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to This Explainer, where today we're unraveling the really fascinating playbook of a true South Korean beauty giant. I mean, if you've walked through a mall recently, or even just scrolled through your favorite beauty app, you have absolutely noticed their lush green branding. But how did they actually break through all that noise to saturate a hyper-competitive market like India? Let's find out. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. First, we'll look at the base formula, so their STP. Then the active ingredients, which are the 4 Ps. Next, we'll analyze the environmental stressors, meaning the market and competitors. And finally, we'll explore the next formulation, basically their future steps. But before we really dig into the data, just think about this for a second. How exactly did a brand convince India to fall completely, utterly in love with Jeju Island? Because remember, back in 2013, K-beauty wasn't the massive global phenomenon it is right now. It took some brilliant, highly localized storytelling to capture the imagination of a completely different geographic market. So who exactly are they? Well, Innisfree is a premium K-beauty brand operating under the massive Amoy Pacific umbrella. But their true identity, their unique selling proposition right out of the gate, is entirely built around eco-friendly skincare sourced directly from the pristine environments of South Korea's Jeju Island. They aren't just selling you a serum, they're selling a very specific, pure origin story. All right, moving to section 1, the base formula. Finding the ideal consumer. Now, what's really interesting here is how Innisfree had to slice up a market of over 1 billion people. Demographically, they zeroed right in on 18 to 40-year-olds with disposable income in major metros and Tier 1 cities while using e-commerce to quietly test the waters in Tier 2. But they didn't just want anyone. Psychographically, they specifically targeted K-beauty fans who actively care about the environment and make premium purchasing decisions based heavily on influencer reviews. They knew exactly who they were looking for. Think about your own habits for a second. If you are an urban professional who, say, obsesses over a multi-step skincare routine, cares deeply about sustainability, and honestly just can't resist adding beauty products to your online cart late at night, well, congratulations, you are the exact bullseye they were aiming for. And once they found that perfect audience, they had to cement their position in the consumer's mind. They successfully branded themselves not just as another makeup company, but as the premium, sustainable K-beauty expert. They want you to hear the words Jeju Island and immediately feel trust, health, and purity. Essentially, they're selling expertise. On to section 2, the active ingredients. This is where they formulate their marketing mix. Starting with their product lines, they really do cover everything, but their undeniable superstars are those natural Jeju formulations. Huge hits like the green tea seed line, the volcanic pore clay mask, and the cherry blossom glow jelly cream. These products combine innovative Korean skincare tech with strict cruelty-conscious development and eco-friendly packaging. For their target market, that is literally a game changer. So the crucial point here is how they price this stuff. They operate in this perfect Goldilocks zone of premium mid-tier pricing. It's priced just high enough to signal luxury and the quality of imported ingredients, so it sits well above basic drugstore brands. But it's never out of reach. Clever seasonal discounts, combo offers, and loyalty programs keep the whole thing wonderfully accessible. To actually move these products, their omni-channel distribution strategy is just beautifully balanced. Digitally, they are pretty much ubiquitous, dominating platforms like their official site, Nykaa, Tira, Myntra, and Amazon India. But offline, they build highly tactile, wonderfully designed, brand-exclusive physical stores in premium shopping malls. It secures that real-world credibility and gives you a luxurious shopping experience. And their digital promotion? Relentless. You've definitely seen their educational beauty tutorials popping up on Instagram or YouTube. By deeply collaborating with beauty influencers and actual dermatologists, they build immense trust. Plus, they back up their whole green identity with actual in-store recycling initiatives, and they keep users hooked with classic buy-one-get-one offers and lots of product sampling. All right, section 3, environmental stressors. Let's navigate the broader market landscape. So looking at the big picture, while their strengths are absolutely undeniable, we're talking a stellar global reputation, high-quality sourcing, and immense online power, they are carrying some real vulnerabilities. That premium pricing we talked about completely alienates more price-sensitive consumers, and relying so heavily on imported goods leaves them struggling to penetrate the massive potential of smaller Tier 2 and Tier 3 Indian cities. Looking forward, though, the growth opportunities are staggering, especially with the continued demand for Korean beauty, the explosion of quick commerce platforms, and rising interest in those Tier 2 cities. However, the external threats are incredibly aggressive. Fickle consumer preferences can pivot overnight. Economic slowdowns hit premium brands really hard, and the market is just constantly flooded with counterfeit products. And this brilliantly illustrates just how wild the competition is. You have all these heavy hitters fighting for the exact same consumer. Innisfree is battling direct Korean rivals like the Face Shop Laneige CoSRX and Etude for the K-beauty crown. But simultaneously, they're fending off massive, highly aggressive homegrown Indian brands like Mamaearth, Plum, and Minimalist. These local brands offer the natural, sustainable angle, but entirely without the import markup. It is a total battleground. Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, the next formulation, the road ahead for Innisfree. To future-proof their strategy, the data points to 4 distinct steps they need to take. First, deep localization, actually creating products specifically formulated for local Indian climates instead of relying entirely on global formulas. Second, introducing affordable travel sizes to significantly lower that barrier for new buyers. Third, aggressive physical and digital expansion into quick commerce and exclusive Tier 2 stores. And finally, deploying AI-driven skin analysis right in the store, which perfectly merges cutting-edge retail tech with their established green initiatives. So what does this all mean? Innisfree has undoubtedly built a powerful position by mastering their target demographic and delivering a deeply compelling, eco-friendly narrative. But consider this. As India's homegrown sustainable brands continue to adapt, innovate, and multiply at breakneck speed, will Innisfree's Jeju Island magic really be enough to hold onto the crown? It's going to be a fascinating battle to watch over the next few years. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.